I think, well, first off, we only got 4 left, but I think this one's probably going to be the most interesting. I could be wrong. This one here is a close second, just judging by the appearance of the outside of the box. Howdy everybody, Steve here, KM9G. Let's get this thing fixed. That seems like it's zoomed in a lot, but it's really not. There's just not a lot of room on the desk. I'm going to put these two on the side. Put this one, oh, that one's got a little bulge in it. That one ought to be fun. And then we get into this one. Nothing is coming out of this box. Oh, somebody already did cut into it. Huh. I am not the one that cut into this. I don't recall. We've got radio, good. We've got programming cable, good. Oh, let me do that again. We've got microphone, programming cable, and radio, good. This one's had the sides put on it. They gave us the peel and stick trash back, nice. That's opened up, that's opened up. That's not how they're normally tinned when they come from the factory. But I'm not going to complain. I doubt somebody re-tinned those. They look pretty good. They actually look like they're unused. And then this is one of those center dots from inside of the pads, the protective pads that go on the mounting bracket, which is still there, so we're good. I think all we're missing is a fuse. Is this anything I can share with you? Oh, it's the return item. It's the return shipping label thing to send it back to Amazon. All right. The box actually isn't that bad, and I appreciate that whoever sent it back went through the trouble to make sure that it wasn't going to come open during shipping, because this is not duct tape. This is Gorilla Tape, and Gorilla Tape is stupid strong. And no, it's not gaffer tape. I know the difference. Oh, and it says #1 on it. Programming cable looks good. The boot comes off, but the boots come off. That's what they do. So, microphone and that. So I guess we need to get our test rig set up. All right, so first off, that mounting bracket is getting in the way of my fancy display here. So I'm going to take it off temporarily. So it will be temporarily off bracket. And you may find that when you receive this, it is permanently off bracket. All right, so let's plug her in for the first time and see what happens. Please input the password. So that might be one of the problems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, and it was a GMRS. Okay, so check out my massive hacking skills. Broke that password just like that. It literally was just my first guess. And then it has a GMRS call sign plugged into it. So we will see if it's locked on 446 and we'll get rid of that password. So I need another radio. Put it over here. I need another radio, and that's my all-star node. So let me do menu, channel, 2-meter call, return. All right, we do 14652 and we transmit. Testing transmit. Yep, we transmit 23, 24 watts. That's actually a pretty good output. So some of you guys were talking about the output, and check out this SWR down here. You got to factor all of that math in, and I don't know what it is because I'm on a dummy load, and this is a cell wave dummy load, which are fantastic. And it's also ABR coax. And I put some information in a video a long time ago that I did on a GMRS radio review where I wasn't getting the proper power out. And what really happens is your coax does matter a lot. ABR is high quality stuff. I'm not knocking ABR. And in that other video, I guess I'll link it up there for you. What I did was I showed you a couple of different pieces of coax jumpers that I had that changed the power output of the radio. I'm not making excuses for Retevis. These radios don't put out their wattage like they're supposed to overall, but it's a well-known thing. What I think they should have done is I think they should have said that these are 20-watt radios, and when you get it and it does 19 to 24, you're going to be happy. But if they say it's a 25-watt radio and it does, 19 to 22, you're going to be unhappy. So that might also be part of the reasons why some of these radios got returned. Who knows what all is in there. This one, somebody went through a lot of love on this one. They programmed in the call sign, they put in a password, they appear to have done the unlock. We haven't gotten that far yet. Let's get back to that. Okay, so on this radio here, I need to change the channel back up to the VFO one, and then I need to do 446000 because that's the magic one that normally doesn't work. And we're on 446, so let's do... Oh, we can do it. So it's already unlocked. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. There was a little drop out there. Was that me? Did I drop that out? This is KM9G. We still have good power out though. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it was probably something I did with the PTT that made it drop a little bit, but it works. It's good. All right, so can we do receive? Testing receive. You can see the receive-o-meter. The receive-o-meter is proud. It's coming out of the speaker here. Good. Let's do 1465200. Okay. Which I realize is in the second channel, but you know, you get what you get. Testing receive 1, 2, 3. This is KM9G. Cool. Voltage is nice and stable, and you'll note that it still has the screen protector on it. Awesome. Okay, so we got the beep going, so let's test all the microphone stuff. Star, 0, pound, A, B, C, D. Okay, cool. So let's do 4, 6, 7, 5, 6, 2. Good enough. Yep, it'll transmit, and it doesn't have the right filters, so it's not a GMRS radio. Why would it have the right filters? Okay, cool. All right, so now we need to do some power testing. Let's go back to 1465200, and we'll do button C on the microphone is low power. 340, mid, 12.5, high, 23.5. Okay, and this microphone is right next to that speaker, which is why we're getting some feedback. .6 on 446, 13, and 22.25. Okay, that's good. So let's do microphone test to make sure we get the speaker mic working. And I believe it's in the function menu. Let's change that over to name while we're at it. That's main. That's handle. And I can hear it. Let's do testing the speaker mic. Testing the speaker mic. Yep, it's coming out of the microphone. Perfect. So now to clean up the programming. Radio plugged in. I've got the code plug software up and running over here. Well, I've got the Windows machine up and running in a remote control window here because we don't like Windows. This is what it looks like when you first open it up, but I'm not first opening it up. I'm first reading from the radio. Always a good idea to read from the radio first, save that off into a file, make your changes right to the radio. And then you have kind of this rolling backup, so you can always go back a level if you mess something up. Chances are you won't, but it's also good to have that backup, so when you get a new radio, you're good too. So read from radio. Pow! No password to read. None. No programming. Maybe they put the password in from the front panel. That would be weird. Channel function setup. Here we go. Let's change this over. And Redavis does this backwards, so it's SIVETER. Okay. On offset. Let's get rid of that. Is that going to work? We'll see. We'll see together. Channel locked, no lock, display mode, name, VFO1. So here you can program in pre-programmed DTMFs. Somebody reached out to me and said these things don't do DTMF tones. So we'll do a different video on working DTMF with this radio and see if it doesn't do DTMF or if it does do DTMF. But if you can't do DTMF directly from the keypad, there's a couple of reasons. One is maybe the receiving end didn't properly interpret it because that's kind of a ham radio thing. These things, every radio I've had has had weird DTMF tone responses. Or maybe the thing you're, like on All-Star, if I'm trying to connect to a node and the node is down, it's not my DTMF that didn't work, it's the target node that didn't work. Anyway, we'll figure that out in the next video. That is not what this video is about. Embedded message. None. Oh no, there is. That just took a while to come up. Area code. Yeah, so it's frequency band 2. It's already been unlocked. Production date, 9/4/24. Nice. 146.520. And then this is going to be 2M. And then we're back to 2. We shouldn't be back to 2. It should just continue along. CA. No. Dang it. Let's do it the hard way. LL. Really? Now you're gonna do it. And then transmit frequency, which should have been the next thing I went to. And then transmit power is high. And then we say, okay. And then let's do 446. Nope, can't type there. You gotta bring it up to edit. 446.000, tab key once like you should. And this is V, and then we're back up there, tab, dash, C, wrong direction, A, L, L, and then we do 446.000, and we hit high power, and we're good to go. Let me change this over to I'll call, you call. We all call together. All right, so now I've got the password should be removed. The call sign has been reset. I've got 2 channels to program in there. So let's write to radio. Yes, I want to continue. And we're writing. No more password. Switch back to the microphone from the programming cable. And we need to switch over to channel mode, which is going to be this P2 button, V/M. Now we're in channel mode. Okay, and now I can up, down from the microphone. So channel works. And the lock button works. Well, that's number 7 in the bag. If you get a radio that has a password on it, try the obvious stuff. All 1s, all 2s, all numbers through, 1 through 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. I have seen some, not radios, I've seen some other stuff that has a factory password of all 8s as an example. What I did was I typed in 1, 2, 3, 4 and it was still asking. So I just continued typing in numbers until it stopped asking, and that's how I cracked the password on this radio. Technically that is hacking, but it's my device. I'm allowed to do that at this point. But also, you can read it in via the programming software. Nothing said in the programming software, please give me your password before allowing me to read it. I was able to change it. I was able to save it back to the radio without a password. So those are 2 different ways that you can get past the password prompt on one of these radios if you happen to find one. Or if you see one on eBay that says, password protected and I forgot the password, buy it. Probably all that's wrong with it is somebody needs to program it. You could be a good guy and send them an email and say, dude, just read it in, reset the password, write it back out. All good. Tell them your buddy Tio told you that little tip. Well, I am currently sold out of these radios, but I do have other radios from Reprogramming that need repairing and rehoming. And if you would like to adopt one of these unloved, returned radios, then shoot me an email temporarily offline at gmail.com and I will get you a list of what I have available for you. This was an Amazon return. I got a whole big box full of Amazon returns. How do you get Amazon returns? People ask me this all the time. If you have to ask me, you're doing it wrong. Let's just start there. Just do a quick Google search and you'll get all kinds of information. Do some networking. I said this in a previous video. Luck is when opportunity meets awareness, or opportunity meets preparedness. In my case, somebody reached out to me and said, would you like to do this thing? It's going to be a lot of work on your part and it's going to cost you some money. And I said, I have no problem with work, in case you guys haven't noticed on the channel. I'm a hustler, I work. And so here we are. I've got a whole big box of these. If you're a hustler, hustle. You'll find the answers. You'll get to this. This solution for Reprogramming is already handled. So if you reach out to them, they're going to say, we've got a guy that does it. That's me. That's how you kind of saw this. Look for some other manufacturer. Pick your favorite. Go down to your local radio store and ask for the box of radios that they deemed are trash that they don't want to repair, if you even have a local radio store. And then you've got 8 radios, and out of those, 4 might be just parts only. You might have one with a cracked screen. Take the screen off of one that has a good screen that doesn't transmit and put it on one that has a bad screen and does transmit. It's just work. So that's the key to success. The only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary, as they say. And I just want to get these things out of a landfill and get them into the hands of somebody, and these are fantastic entry-level radios. So reach out to me if you want it. I've got a bit of a discount for you. So we've got a couple more to go through, and I've got a couple of other different kinds of radios. I've always got something for sale, so drop me a line. I'll give you the for sale list, and we'll make it happen. There's a video right over here I think you might like next. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there. Oh, and I'll leave a link for a brand new radio in the description for you as well.